Hi again. Okay, so I don't know what part this is, but this is one of the series of sponsor moves, and this is going to be about why you want to move people underneath people. So just to, if you've seen any of my other building videos or any of anybody else's building videos or any of the graphs that are out there, especially about unilevel and about rank, you're going to remember that this organization, this company, and how we build our business is extremely team oriented. It's a very team culture. So there's rewards to that, not just because, I mean, we build amazing friendships and business partners. Like you get to know your sharers and your builders really quick because you're working with them, right? And you want them to succeed. And the blessing in that is that when you help other people to succeed, you succeed as well. So it is more advantageous. Our compensation plan, doTERRA's compensation plan, is more advantageous not just for you to grow long-term a really powerful residual income, but the friendships, the business relationships, and the other women, other men and women that you help to promote to fulfill their dreams too. We're all really connected that way. And there's no other company that pays that way. And it is because of how we rank and because of our unilevel. I'm going to share my screen just to kind of refresh your memory on that and just to explain things in a little bit more detail. I made a video already about how to physically go into your back office and move your enrollments. They are still your enrollments. You're giving sponsorship. You're putting them under people. They're still your enrollments. Do not give your enrollments away, if at all possible, until the very end, when it's because it ranks you up or it causes this mass little domino effect of multiples of hundreds of dollars and if not thousands of dollars in bonuses. That's a whole nother video, and that is all about leadership pools and leadership rank advanced pool bonuses. So let's just go to my PowerPoint before I get off track. Share. I don't have a PowerPoint. I've just got some images. Let's start with this one. All right, so this is the premiere. I teach everybody, and it is very customary. It is not everybody teaches this way, but it makes the most sense. If I would have done this in the beginning, it would have saved me a lot of problems and a lot of time to get to the rank that I'm at now. Can I make this bigger? All right, I don't know why I'm in edit mode. I don't know, but anyways, to achieve Premier. So this is like, I know, trust me, I know that this is crazy to think about when you're just starting. Like you had your first class, and if you didn't have, usually I'm there, like they're all excited. Okay? It's not that I jumped the ground. I am very futuristic. It's actually probably my sixth. I did not test out as one of my top 5 strengths, but I bet it would be number 6. I can see things in people that they might not even know yet about themselves. And it's because of my experience with this particular company and the experience of how strengths can be brought out of people. And their personality and all things like that. I'm very futuristic. I can also see like things happen with people's organization. I can see things happen very quickly. And I get excited about that. And I usually tell a hostess, which this just happened again, at their first class, oh my word, this went really well. This can happen. This can happen. Let's do this. Let's try this. So, but when you're the hostess, when I very first joined, I would go into my back office and it would say, I'm sorry, you have no commissions yet, or I'm sorry, you don't have any people underneath you yet, or whatever. And then people would start showing up, and I'd go into my graphic tree and I'd see Laura and I'd see 2 people here and a person there and 5 people. And it was, sometimes it would just feel like it would never happen. And then other times it felt like, oh my word, this is happening so fast. So as a new person, I know that when I talk to you about how to achieve Premier, you feel like it's way off in the future. Premier can happen very quickly. It can actually happen within a couple months, depending on how many classes you have and depending on how many hostesses you have come from your classes. So it's just based on volume, but Premier is the first rank that also needs some structure. So I'm going to use names here. I'm just going to use first names, you guys, because it helps me in my mind to explain something. And this particular scenario is very fresh, all right? So I'm going to use Kim and some of her class attendees, all right? So Kim, this is you at the top. So how do you achieve Premier? So right now, Kim, you have your sister Tammy underneath you. You have just put Chelsea, your daughter, underneath you. You have 2 brand new enrollments from your class this weekend. So you have Heather B. and Kim underneath you. All right. We talked this morning about you possibly enrolling your mom to use as a ghost builder. All right. So all of these names, sorry, I don't know your mom's name. I'm going to call her Bobby because that's my mom. All right. We're going to call your mom Bobby for now. So right now you are considering enrolling Bobby as a ghost builder. You have Chelsea as one of your builders because the people that you enrolled at your class were actually Chelsea's, but she wasn't enrolled yet, so we couldn't enroll them under her name yet. Right? We can give them to her later. It's no big deal. Chelsea, don't freak out. We can eventually give them to you. Kim can give them to you eventually. Not yet. You're getting ready to enroll Alyssa, and Alyssa is interested in having a class also. Your friend Alice is getting to enroll, and you're actually going to keep her on your top row. So you are closer to Premier in your first class than pretty much anyone I've ever seen, unless I had already previously built an organization underneath them. So this is Kim, all right? We're going to call this your mom's leg. This is Bobby's leg. This is your mom. And this is going to be Chelsea. And for now, because Tammy didn't have a class yet, this is Tammy, all right? And so we've got Bobby, Chelsea, Tammy, and Alice, all right? We're not going to even worry about this triangle. It doesn't even matter. You, Kim, to get to Premier, which is some of the first bonuses in the bonus pool that you can get, besides probably a good average of starting out about $1,000 in income a month, and upwards of an average of, I think it's around $2,000 a month. I can clarify that later. So your mom is enrolled. Not yet, she will be. We're going to say that Chelsea is enrolled, and now we're going to be putting Heather B underneath Chelsea, and we're probably going to be putting Kim underneath Heather B, right? Those are your 2 class enrollments. Why do we want to start stacking people underneath each other? Because we need volume. Premier is the first rank that requires structure and where all of your volume is at. So you have Alice up here, right? And Tammy up here. So this counts to your overall volume. But you need 2 legs. A person needs 2 legs to get to Premier with a minimum of 2,000 in volume. So you need 2 executives underneath you. An executive happens pretty quickly. So let's say one thing that we could consider doing is actually putting Alice. Tammy's already enrolled. She's at where she's at, and that's just absolutely fine. She's in another state on the other side of the country with her own friends and her own contacts, and she's going to be your 3rd leg. Probably what we should do is you enroll your mom as a ghost builder, and you're going to put Alice underneath her. Alice is still your primary builder, but Alice is underneath your mom, and I'll show you why in a little bit. We're going to get to Ghost Builder in a little bit. So Alice is underneath here. Alice is going to have a class, and I would not be surprised if Alice and her daughter do not bring in the first couple months, 2,000 in volume in conjunction with your mom's order. So now you just have created an executive leg. Chelsea, who needs a little bit of time, she's in marathons, but Heather B is underneath Chelsea. We're going to put Kim underneath Heather B, not necessarily for the main reason of that will help Heather B in the future. So let's say this is Chelsea. Chelsea's going to have a class eventually, maybe multiple classes. We're going to put, I would actually like to put Alyssa underneath Chelsea because Alyssa's going to be having classes and orders. So this leg within very quick with the fact that Chelsea is the top of the leg, Alyssa is underneath her and going to be having classes. Heather B has already mentioned that she wants to have a class, and could very well be a builder. I've already talked to you about that. I see that in her. See that in a lot of you women in this class. It was a very amazing class. So this is going to get to 2,000 very quickly. We talked about how fast this is going to snowball for you, Kim, and for these people as well. So once this leg gets to 2,000 and stays there, it needs to continue. That's why LRPs are important. Continuing classes is important. Continuing education is important. I help you with all of that. You'll be able to do it all on your own within a few months. So you've got one leg 2,000, one leg 2,000. But in your, Kim, your whole organization, you need 5,000. So let's say you had nobody here. Let's say there was nobody here. And Kim, you only had two people. You've got your mom and you've with Alice underneath her, and you've got Chelsea with Alyssa and Heather B and Kim underneath her, and nobody else is here. You could simply have two legs. That's fine. They would have to have 2,500 each, or 2,200 and 2,800 for a total of 5,000 in your overall volume. But you don't have that. These legs need to be a minimum of 2,000 because you also have your sister. And we're not putting Alice here. I think that it would be better to put Alice underneath your mom. So you still have your sister. Your sister is very interested in having a class. I've spoken to your sister. You've spoken to your sister. She's probably going to have a class, a Facebook class, a Zoom class in California, and project me on her TV or on her laptop and have a classroom full of, living room full of her friends. So this is very well going to be another 2,000 executive leg very quickly. It moves so quickly when people are excited and people are having classes and their friends are having classes. It moves crazy fast. I have no doubt you're going to be silver very soon. So this is to achieve Premier, okay? Once again, summary. A Premier is somebody with a total of 5,000 PV in their overall volume or organizational volume, but it has to include two legs with at least 2,000 in volume each. That makes them an executive. I'm going to see if I can. I might have to stop share. I don't want to interrupt this video too much. Let me share again and try to get to a different picture. Why is Premier important? It's like I said, it seems like, oh, I'm never going to get to a rank like that. I just showed you how within a couple months you can get to a rank like that. Let me make this bigger. I don't know how. Yay. So why is Premier important? Because Premier is the building block of gold. So as a Premier, this is you, Kim, and you're a Premier to get, and you just taught Alice and Chelsea how to get to Premier. So now you need a third leg to get to Premier. It's your sister. That's what you have right now. You may come across more people. or somebody, maybe your sister doesn't want to get to Premier, or maybe Alice doesn't want to get to Premier. There's a whole scenario, but whoever your third person is, or your three people are, that's how quickly they can get to Premier, is within a couple months. So we're helping them get to Premier, helps you get to gold. So let's say this is Kim. She has her mom, who's a ghost builder, and Alice underneath her, and this leg is getting to Premier. I don't want to confuse it by talking about the difference between Alice and your mom right now. But this is your mom, and this is Chelsea, and this is Tammy. And now when Chelsea had her class, she has classes, so she's going to have enrollments, and those people might want to have classes. So we put Heather B., who wants to have a class, underneath Chelsea. So right here, Chelsea is on her way to Premier. And actually, Heather B. will be also, because she's having a class. We're going to teach her the same principles that we teach everybody all the way up, build to Premier. It grows, it gives birth to golds, all right? So this is Chelsea, this is Heather B., and this is Alyssa. Both of these ladies want to have a class, and we're going to help them do that to help Chelsea get to Premier. So once your mom or Alice gets to Premier, and Chelsea gets to Premier, and your other leg, maybe it's your sister, Tammy, gets to Premier, that just made you gold. All right. Let me see if I can do the screen share without actually closing out share again. Hope it wouldn't. All right, I'm still recording. Let me share. And let me get to platinum. So platinum is the next stage. So Kim has her three legs. We've got her mama, Chelsea, and Tammy. These legs have already grown in this scenario to Premier, which means that your mom or Alice has legs underneath them. We'll use Chelsea because I have more names here. Chelsea has Heather B. and Alyssa and somebody else that she's found in one of her classes, and these people are growing. So these young ladies, and this might be Tammy, these young ladies are to silver. That makes you platinum. So going from gold to platinum is a pretty easy stretch. So I wonder if I can get rid of this. Let me show you really quick. I said I would touch on ghost building in this. So let me share again. Let me just go to Premier rank picture. So Kim, we're going to say that this is your mom who's underneath you. And we're going to build your mom. We're going to actually build your mom to silver. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. So why don't we just put Alice in your front row? We can certainly do that. But here's the other thing to think about is as Alice is having her classes and building, she's still your qualifying person, but your mom is too. Let's say, Kim, that you have a class and invite the people that weren't able to come to your first class. And we have as much excitement and activity that happened in that class as we did in your other, all right? So we've got Alice here. This is your mom. We've got Alice. We're helping her like to grow and helping Alice to earn. Maybe Alice has enrolled her daughter, Amy, and there's a lot of growth happening in this. You see already how it can snowball. Let's say in your second class, underneath your mom, we're going to enroll another person and help them to have their classes, right? We're going to forget about these other two people for now. This is your mom. It doesn't matter if it kind of matters if she gets to Premier or not, but not really. What the focus is on getting three people underneath her to rank advance. So let's say we've got Alice at Premier. we're going to call this person Melissa from another class that you're going to have in the future. And this person is going to be Jennifer. So as we're helping these people underneath your mom has no interest in growing a business, right? She's your ghost builder. And that means at any time your mom, she may be earning all this while and she may like that. Maybe she doesn't want to earn. Maybe Social Security is a problem. So then we need to be careful about how much her account is earning, and we can handle that. But even so, even if she's not earning much, you're growing 3 different teams underneath her, which this whole leg helps you rank up all the way up to platinum. This whole leg, then once you have these 3 legs a certain level, you can remove her mom. She can quit. You can remove her, and all 3 of these legs go straight up to your top line, which makes you like a blue diamond in one fell swoop, because you took the time to have a ghost builder and build 3 separate legs underneath her. All of these legs helped your mom to become a rank, which helped you to become a rank. But then as a ghost builder, somebody who says that they're your ghost builder, and then at some point they know that their account is going to go nil, you're going to remove them entirely. And then that makes all 3 of these legs go straight up to your front line, which in overnight makes you usually takes somebody from a silver, a platinum, a gold, or a platinum up to blue diamond like overnight. So having one ghost builder in anybody's front line is a really good idea. All right. So, okay, we just touched on that. There's a lot more information if you're having a ghost builder that we would touch on, that we would have a more in-depth class, but that's not going to be in this particular. Let me stop share. My voice is kind of gravelly and kind of groggy or something today, but so that is the how and why you want to build to Premier, and why you want to move people underneath people is to help everybody build underneath Premier. As a front row person, you would probably never want to put any of your enrollments and give sponsorship more than 4 levels deep. That's a whole nother class, but 4 or 5, all right? So anybody, I can help anybody. I can put people underneath people. Don't forget that I have multiple legs and multiple builders. So I put people under. I usually kind of base that on locale and on who knows people. I keep family members together. If I'm building in the Trenton area, enrolling in the Trenton area, typically, not always, but typically I will put people underneath people in that area. If it's the Morenci area, Lyons, Metamora, Toledo, I will try to keep people underneath other people in that area and help teams grow that way. So part of putting somebody underneath somebody, it does give them some responsibility in that. So there's 2 ways to look at that. Let's say I'm putting somebody underneath Kim or Chelsea or Alice or whoever in the Lyons area. For instance, I just put Kim, I put you underneath one of my builders, Nicole. She's a little bit inactive right now, but she is a sharer, and she is just on a little bit of a break, but eventually you will meet Nicole, and she's going to help you build your business so well because you're underneath her, and your growth benefits her and her growth, which benefits me and my growth. Huge team building. Now, you and Nicole would get along fabulously, so this isn't a scenario for that. But let's say I put somebody underneath somebody else, and they should be sponsoring and mentoring that person, but maybe there's a personality clash. Then, of course, I would step in and help you build a person's business for that. There's 1,000 different scenarios, but when I put people underneath another person, it does lend to that person taking ownership of that account, ownership of helping that person to grow. There is some some responsibility that goes along with that also. So team spirit, team growth, team blessings. It's very team culture. And that is one of the biggest reasons why I love doTERRA. It's one of the 1,000 reasons. So have a good day. I'm going to get this posted ASAP.